Good morning, I'm Ann Knight. As we take a look at your marine forecast and update the conditions on the seas around Newfoundland, you'll see we do have a gale advisory, a small craft advisory, basically surrounding the island of Newfoundland. Much of the same, really, for the Maritimes. There's a southerly flow of 25 knots through the Northumberland Strait, as well as the coastal areas of Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. St. Lawrence Seaway looking very nice. We do have some northeasterlies at 15 knots, nothing significant, though. That's the same for Lake Champlain and Lake Memphrey-Magog. As we head into the Great Lakes, got to be a nice day to do some boating, although it is overcast. Some sunny breaks in Toronto, though, so Lake Ontario, you might want to take the boat out. There's no warnings in effect or advisories as we head into Lake Winnipeg and Lake Winnipeg-Osis. Again, we do have a dominating southerly flow at 20 knots and a southwesterly, but there are no advisories in effect. Now, on the west coast, things are a little different. We do have a gale advisory in effect for the Georgia Strait, as well as a small craft advisory in for the Strait of Juan de Fuca, westerly flow at 25 knots, as well as on the coastal northern portions of Vancouver Island. And then the Queen Charlotte's, look at that. We have a small craft advisory surrounding the entire island, so that's going to make things a little tricky. Use extra care if you're boating there. And we have a dominating force of northwesterlies at around 30 knots. And again, that's entirely surrounding the whole island, as you see. We'll update that if it changes into a gale warning. That is your complete marine forecast here on the Weather Network.
You're watching the Weather Network, covering weather and environmental issues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Network. My name is Kim McDonald. Well, it is another hot, sunny day in northern Ontario, and that means it's forest fire season. There has been a ban on fires in Thunder Bay. Now, the west remains nice and sunny today. The east, again, we're looking at overcast skies and scattered showers. I'll have all the details in a few minutes' time. Now, stay tuned for your local weather forecast.
Good afternoon, everyone. From coast to coast, you're watching Canada's Weather Network. We have several weather warnings in effect. There is strong winds for Edmonton, Alberta, and the Peace River region. We'll talk about that later, as well as heavy rainfall warning for the south coastline of Newfoundland. So stay tuned. I'm going to have all those details for you. Your local forecast is next. And Montreal, nice temperatures for BC. It's going to start cooling a bit for Tuesday, but not too bad. 25 degrees temperatures for Saskatoon, Regina. Wednesday, that hot pocket's going to move over to Winnipeg, 25 to 30 degrees temperatures. And for Thursday, a little bit of a cooler trend. Stay tuned. Your local forecast is next.
Hi there, I'm Rory O'Shea.
And I'm Jane Brown. What a night across the country.
My goodness, wind warnings in Alberta and moving into Saskatchewan. Not nearly as bad as passing wind warnings, but what we've got happening is moving into Saskatchewan.
I'll take your word for that. Not so sure we're happy. I'm happy we're working together.
Sorry, never mind. We'll tell you all about it. We've got
promise.
details to come and your local forecast now.
All right, here's the forecast situation for Monday. Good on the west coast, nice and warm. Again, there's our cold front making its way into the areas affecting Winnipeg and Thunder Bay for tomorrow. Northern Ontario still okay for the most part. Central Ontario, there's the low. It continues to hang around in southern Ontario and parts of the Maritimes and St. John's and the rest of Newfoundland as well.
Hello from the Weather Network, I'm Bob Pronick. It's going to be an interesting night on the prairies as a low-pressure system is making its way through Alberta, Saskatchewan. Presently, a wind warning in effect going from Calgary right through to Regina. Gusts going from 60 to 80 clicks right up to 80 to 90 kilometers an hour. And with more details on the national forecast, here's Sharon O'Flaherty.
Thanks, Bob. We really are watching this wind warnings into this evening. What's happening is this low-pressure system that we're seeing over the southeastern United States. We can see it moving off into the Atlantic Ocean, but it's really affecting parts of the Maritimes. Now, the warning that we're watching, we can't quite see it right in here, but it's in the northern tips of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. That's the strong Arctic air coming in. Its winds looking at up to 80 kilometers an hour into this evening. That's really what we're watching this evening. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks very much, Sharon. As we get ready to look into the midweek portion, I guess that low system is going to be hanging around once again and influencing our weather patterns.
You are watching C2C on the Weather.
Well, good morning, everyone. C2C with me, as usual, C2C with Sherry Clarence. But you're new, Scott Sims. Welcome back.
Well, it's nice to be on the mornings, actually, for a change. Working nights for about 8 years.
He's a little tired today. We'll have to try and keep him awake, but I'm sure we'll manage. He will have your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If the setting looks a little bit different, that's because it is. You're paying attention. We are now broadcasting from Toronto, and I have a new partner. His name is Scott Sims. He's off to a good start today. He even made me some fresh coffee, but Scott, I think you got to work on the coffee, really.
No, I can't even do the I can't do the coffee. I can't even do my little clicker thing here. I don't know what the deal is. You know, it's like, to me, it feels like the dead of night, so I'm like completely tired. And anyway, back to you for just a little while.
Oh, all right. We'll give him a little bit of time to collect his thoughts and get more acquainted with his clicker.
Earth Watch. I'm Lila Faye.
And I'm meteorologist Colette Kennedy. Good evening.
And not only welcoming in the new month, but also a chance to check out the new facilities. This is beautiful.
Welcome in Ontario now.
Exactly. Wow. Switch. Warm temperatures to boot also for much of the west.
Absolutely gorgeous readings from BC across towards Manitoba, but it's starting to change there.
And your local details are next.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good Tuesday morning to you. My name is Rory O'Shea, and we are keeping our finger on the pulse of the environment all the time just for you. Coming up, we've got the national forecast. We'll see what's happening from east to west, above seasonal again today. Absolutely delightful, but we're keeping an eye on some thunderstorm activity. And right now, your local forecast.
This Weather Network local forecast is brought to you by Tim Hortons, where it's time to play Roll Up the Rim to Win. This Weather Network local forecast is brought to you by Heil. Depend for all your heating and cooling needs.
White stuff, I think. There's that risk in the lee of the lake that you might have accumulations of 5 to 10 centimeters. Elsewhere in Ontario, though, off the Great Lakes, some wet flurries are possible tonight in that cool air. All right, bundle up there, and you can enjoy the warm weather in the west. Sounds pretty good. Fantastic all this week. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thanks for being with us.